So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. So, our topic for our today's discussion is all about basic textual and contextual reading approach in the study and appreciation of literature. I, Kyla L. Adanya, together with my group mates, Janelle Lanuso and Ernestine Lopez. So, let's have a prayer first. So, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom is love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to rule and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. So, Miss Lanuso, is there any absent on this class? Okay, none. So let's have a quick recap. So, are you done with? Are you done, guys, with our assignment for today? Okay, so let's move on. So we have our three classroom rules. So first is be on time and join the class with your real name. Second is keep your microphone muted unless you are asked to speak. And last but not the least is participate actively and show respect to your teachers and classmates. So next slide please. So our short recap guys is are you done with your assignment before we are proceeding in our activity or our motivational activity? Okay, none. So very good. Um, our activity for today is called One Word, One World. So the direction is students will write one word that describes their life. Example, the struggle, hope, and family. Then explain how the word connects to their community, the Philippines, and the world. Next slide, please. So are you done guys with your activity? Okay, we have our three following questions. And number one is, how was this activity for you? Yes, answer this with your paper. So number two, what did you learn about yourself? Okay, very good. So number three, how does your word connect to your community, motion, or nation, or the world? Very good answer. Okay, give five claps to your classmates. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. Okay, move on, guys. So let's start with our lesson for the day. Let me introduce our next presenter, Miss Janelle Lanuso. Okay, thank you for today, guys.
In the elements of the form style, literary devices, diction, flashback, foreshadowing, element of the story, structure, tone, imagery, etc. that are found within the text. So, when we say formalist criticism focuses on the text itself, including its structure, style, literary devices, imagery, tone, and plot. It also analyzes how these elements contribute to the overall quality of the work. So I have example here. Our given example is Harry Potter. The cinematography was great. It seems real. The plot of the story was also great, especially the climax where Voldemort took the Elder One and became more powerful. The diction of the characters is a bit confusing to me because sometimes I can't even understand some words. So that's the example of formalist criticism. It focuses on the text itself, including its own style. So next criticism would be the biographical criticism. When we say biographical criticism, it begins with the simple but central insight that literature is written by actual people and that understanding an author's life can help readers more thoroughly comprehend the work. It focuses only on explicating the literary work by using the insight provided by knowledge of the author's life. So when we say biographical criticism, this approach studies the author's life and experiences to better understand the literary work itself. It assumes that the author's background also influences what they write. So I have example here. Our given example is Felix Manalo is 2015 Philippine film about the life of Felix Isagun Manalo, the first executive minister of the Iglesia ni Cristo and the church he preached. Manalo is regarded by the members of the Iglesia ni Cristo as the last messenger of God and the restorer of the true church of Christ. So when we say biographic, so like just like the example, it studies the author's life and experiences. So next criticism would be the historical criticism. So when we say historical criticism, it is the goal of historical criticism traditionally has been tried to understand the text meaning in its original context and to answer questions about the text such as who wrote it, when was it written, what happening at the time of its writing, how did it come to be in the form we have it today? What did it mean to the people who first read or heard it? So when we say historical criticism, it examines a text within the historical period in which it was written. It also seeks to understand the author's message by considering the social, political, and cultural context of that specific time. So I have example here. Our given example is people are trying to understand what the Bible really means. They want to know its true meaning, the real meaning behind each word. So it it's it is more on the period in which it was written. So next criticism would be the gender criticism. So when we say gender criticism, it examines how sexuality influences the creation and reception of literary works. For example, here is the masculinist. This approach is recently advocated by Robert Bly, an ideology of masculinity and ideology opposed to the other opposed by the famous feminism. When we say feminist, it is a social theory or political movement arguing that the legal and social restrictions on females must be removed in order to bring about equality of both sexes in all aspects of public and private life. So when we say gender criticism, it analyzes how gender roles, sexuality, and power relationship are portrayed in literature. Example given is the feminism and masculinist. It often explore issues related to masculinity, femininity, and gender equality. So I have example here. Our given example is the song Serena by Glock 9 that really implies a gay son who wears lipstick and dresses like a girl, but his father doesn't want what he wants, and this thing results to abuse. So in the end, realization comes and everything changes. So that's how gender criticism works. So next would be the sociological criticism. When we say sociological criticism, it examines literature in the cultural, economic, and political context in which it was written or received. It also shows the relationship of the artist and the society. So when we say sociological criticism from the word itself, social, which is society, this criticism looks at the relationship between the literature and the society. It also examines how social, economic, political, and cultural factors influence a literary work and its message. So I have example here. Our given example is the Marxist criticism. It focuses on the economic and political elements of art, often emphasizing the ideological content of literature because Marxist criticism often argues that all art is political, either challenging or endorsing the status. So sociological is more on focus on the literature itself and the society. Next one is psychological criticism. When we say psychological criticism, it reflects the effect that modern psychology has had upon both literature and literary criticism. According to Sigmund Freud, psychoanalytic theories changes our notions of human behavior by exploring new or controversial areas like wish fulfillment, sexuality, the unconscious, and repression. So when we say psychological criticism, it studies the thoughts, the emotions, the motivations, and the behaviors of characters, authors, or readers that is often based on psychological theories, especially those of Sigmund Freud. So next would I have the example here. Our example is the movie Black Swan. The movie does an excellent job of portraying the terror related to psychosis. There is a large amount of artistic license taken, and there are simply too many psychological issues going on with Nina. She shows elements of an anxiety order with obsessive compulsive behavior. She also manifests self-injurious behavior and some signs of an eating disorder. So that's how psychological criticism works. It studies the thoughts, the emotions, and motivations and behaviors of the main character. The next one would be the new historicism criticism. It is an approach to a literature that emphasizes the interaction between the historic context of the work and a modern reader's understanding and interpretation of the work. New historicism acknowledge and then explore various versions of history, sensitizing us to the fact that the history on which we choose to focus is colored by being reconstructed from our present circumstances. So when we say new historicism criticism, it explores the connection between a literary work and its historical context while recognizing that our understanding of history is being influenced by modern perspective and interpretations. So I have the example here. Our example is the new historicists do not believe that we can look at history objectively, but rather that we interpret events as products of our time and culture, and that we don't have clear access to any but the most basic facts of history. Our understanding of what such facts mean is strictly a matter or of interpretation, not fact. So new historicism holds that we are hopelessly subjective interpreters of what we observe. So next is the mythological criticism. When we say mythological criticism, it is this approach focuses on universal symbols, archetypes, and recurring patterns found in literature that suggest that many stories share common themes because they come from a collective human experiences. So we have there the mythological criticism by Carl Jung, which all individuals share a collective unconscious, a set of primal memories common to the human race. So I have the example here. So many cultures have creation stories that involve a good frail, corruption, salvation, and rebirth. According to the archetypal approach, there are so many of these stories because elements of spirituality are ingrained in our collective unconscious. So for the last criticism, we have the structuralism. So when we say the structuralism, it examines how literary texts arrive at their meanings rather than the meaning themselves. So when we say structuralism, it examines the underlying structures and systems that create meaning in a text. It also focuses on how different parts of a work relate to one another rather on individual meanings. So to summarize all of the criticism that we discussed, literary criticisms are different approaches used to analyze and understand literary works. Each criticism focuses on a specific aspect, such as the reader, the author, the historical background, the societies, the psychology, the gender, the myths, the structure that allows reader to gain deeper insights into a text. So now let's proceed to our activity that we will be discussed by Miss Lopez Ernestine. Thank you.
So thank you, Miss Kylie. And now we will proceed to our first activity. So the title of our activity is Breaking Free, a literary analysis of the song Let It Go from Disney's Frozen. So can you please next the slide? So before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever judged a contest or activity before? If yes, how did you decide who performed best? So, yes. Very good. When judging, we use criteria or standards to evaluate fairly. In literature, we also use standards called literary criticism. Literary criticism helps us to analyze, interpret, and evaluate literary works such as poems, stories, and songs. For this activity, the lyrics of Let It Go and the instructions have been posted in our Google Classroom. So your task is to choose one literary criticism that you think best fit to the song and explain your analysis in 3 to 5 sentences. Think about the message, emotions, or themes that fits the song and explain it. So after completing your work, submit it through our Google Classroom. So are the instructions clear? If yes, you may now begin. So time's up. Please make sure your work has been submitted in our Google Classroom. So now we will proceeding to our activity 2. The directions is choose your favorite film, write 3 to 5 sentences summary of the chosen movie, and apply one or two literary criticism using 3 to 5 sentences. So remember, focus how literary criticism helps you to understand the movie's message, characters, or events. So, okay, you may now begin. So, time's up. Please submit your work through our Google Classroom. I will check your outputs later and provide feedback on your analysis. During our next meeting, I will return it to you so you can see your strength and the areas where you can still improve. So, the next one, we will having a quiz. So to check your understanding of our lesson on literary criticism, we will having a short quiz. So get 1/4 sheet of paper and number it to 1 to 5. Choose the letter of the correct answer. And later, you will upload it to our Google Classroom. So number 1. Okay, next, number 2. Okay, next, number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Okay, time is up. Now we will now let's check your answers together. So number 1 is letter B and number 2 is letter C. Number 3 is B. Number 4 is letter C. And the last one is letter A. So who got 5? Kindly raise your virtual hand. Okay, very good. So for your assignment, making of your own literature. So the instruction is create a 4 stanza poem with a topic related to the chosen movie from activity 2. So that's all for today. Any questions, reactions? If none, let's call it a day. Thank you.